There's a lot of things to get to today. Mike Abou-Mechrek joining us in the bunker. How are you doing, Abou?
Oh.
Don't.
Yeah, I know. This is so horrible. Good.
I thought we were going to avoid all the coronavirus talk.
Yeah, I'm worried that my T-shirt is larger than my sweatshirt. They're both new, but you know when you put a bigger shirt on under a new one?
That's the biggest thing in your life. That's good if that's all you got to worry about.
I don't know what to do with my hands now. It's just all going downhill.
What do you think about Canada's decision to pull out of the 2020 Olympics?
What? I'm not kidding. I've stayed away from all that kind of social distancing myself from social media. People are just in a frenzy. So this is the first time I've heard it. Probably a good idea. You know, if these are the acts that we're going to take, I think that's a kind of good idea.
Okay, I was remiss in trying to steer the discussion from my chair because in the break you made a good point. You said Bob Poley would be the most valuable guy right now to just come on the show and tell stories, right?
Oh,
so to talk about current events, you're lost. It's not your thing.
What current event? That's what I was getting at with
yeah,
this
I know
t-shirt.
you're getting
Nothing's happening. Although I did make a bunch of buys on this morning on the market because I think things are kind of starting to relax a little bit. So, I mean, everything's happening in that regard, but really nothing's happening. Nothing in sports, nothing. The biggest news is, last night I played FIFA on the Xbox and I won the FA Cup. That's kind of news.
So
there's nothing happening. So that's what I was saying.
You've set a new record. In less than 30 seconds, you gave me a migraine. You said you're not paying attention to what's going on, and then turned around and said you're buying on the markets because the markets are low. So you're very closely in tune to what's going on. But you're telling me you're not in tune with what's going on.
Dude, this is a sports show, and I do my best to kind of segregate my professional life away from what we do here, which is
How separate
fun.
are they, though?
Man, stuff's not going down. Shit's going down. Like, everything's happening. Like, there's so much stuff. There's a real allocation of wealth. There's so much going on that we can't even get into right now. But I think we've seen the last of the... I mean, I don't know anything, right? You can put my qualifications right here. But I don't know anything. But I think now is the time. You know, I think we're not going to see the 1,600-point plummets. You know, maybe we might see like the 300-point moves, 400-point moves, which is crazy high. But I think we're kind of starting to get a little bit back to normal. And you want to beat the time in, right? So that's what I was doing this morning. I was getting my cash back in.
We can sit. There's a misconception out there. I mean, overall, this is a sports show. But as the guys were saying late last week, it is a talk show. So many people were saying to me, you're going to run out of things to talk about. I'm pretty sure we won't. I'm not joking. I don't think we will. Whether it be an author coming on to talk about CFL USA expansion, to Dave Naylor saying who's going to finish fifth in the CFL West, to what caused the split of Bill Belichick, Tom Brady, there's no end of those things. Yeah. But to sit and talk about where we are in life right now is also a pretty interesting thing too. For instance, I had a webinar. Can you just your mind's racing, I can tell. Just hang on. And with regards to everything you're saying, and Wayne out in Victoria says, I think staying away from social media might be a good idea, but I like to stay informed. So my point on this, have you ever heard of John Maxwell? He's a famed leader. He's trained thousands of leaders around the world. He's a guy that I watch and read his stuff. I've read his books. So this morning, I watched the replay of his webinar yesterday that was entitled Leading in a Crisis. And he said, you're better off probably if you want the source of information, stay away from the media. Don't go to the media because the media has an agenda.
To watch.
He says politicians have an agenda.
They want you to vote.
Right. So what he's saying is go to the World Health Organization website. Go to the Center for Disease Control website. Go to the source of the information, not the people that are delivering you the news. And so... It's kind of tough as the guy that sits here has made his career in the media forever to say that. I'm telling you what he said. So do what feels right. If you want to stay away from the media, if you want to stay away from social media, do whatever you want. But, you know, I had this thing on my phone that told you your screen time every week. Have you had that option on your iPhone?
That's why I stopped
I got a notification from it on Saturday saying, are you kidding me? Because all I've been is on my
Been
phone.
up, yeah. I've been up 18%.
You're up 18%.
It told me I was on there, and I don't go near my phone a lot. It told me I was on there like 5 hours a day, and I'm like, it does add up. So that's why I've distanced myself from it, because it's just not good. I don't even sleep 5 hours a day, right? Like there's other things to be doing than staring at an idiot. But
depends what you use it for,
right? And that's what I used it for. I used it to. People use it to get their news right. Don't. I mean, that's part of the craziness is that facts. What are your facts?
I'm just going to sit back and listen to you because I said my piece.
Anyways, I just don't feel like I wrapped up the markets really well. I feel like if your money's being managed, no money managers, nobody ever anywhere ever saw a complete collapse of the economy. Businesses shutting down, people not allowed to go outside. So of course the market's going to fall. It's not good to invest in businesses that can't do business. So there's going to see a fall. But that being said, hopefully your money was being managed, and we're all in the same kind of boat there. What's important right now is that your money is being managed and not sitting on the sidelines. That you are doing the right things, because like we were saying, there's 300 points to be gained in a day, 500 points to be gained in a day. We're going back. We're probably going to make 30% on your money in the next 5 years. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not retiring anywhere soon. This is a great opportunity for me to stay home with my kids. And you know what? If this is the collapse of civilization, my money doesn't matter anyways.
Right.
I don't think it's the end. And if it is, Air Canada, I bought it at $13 today. It was at over $50 a month ago. You know what's happening? Air Canada can't do business. What's going to happen in 2 months? You know that holiday you're going to go on? You're going to go on 2 of them next year.
Everybody's going to be buying
at the same time. I got it for $13. Boeing's going to go under. You think so? 2 people in the entire world make airplanes, and you're going to tell me one of them's going to go under? Yeah, come on, man.
So, folks, you're understanding. You're getting the irony right. He comes in and said he's not paying attention to what's going on.
Man, I've been watching Bloomberg nonstop for the last 2 weeks. What do you think I'm doing?
It's ironic. It's ironic.
It's awesome. The amount of wows in my office at home, unprecedented. Daily.
So Ryland Betker, a friend of mine from the Army, writes, he's a soldier. He says, trust. He's watching and he writes in, trust but verify everything you see on social media and the news. Been seeing a lot of information swirling. Take the time and research the news. And I could go, talk for hours on this. Because I'm watching CNN, watching Fox News. I'm watching CTV Newsnet. I'm watching CBC. Hang on. So you're looking so disapprovingly at me. And I'm just watching how some media is ratcheting up the fear and the panic, and others are calming people down. And it just depends on how it's going.
Ramping it up.
Fox is calming people down and supporting Trump, from what I can see. But furthermore, to use a sports vernacular, I just say, and I learned this from Brian Sutter, sitting in his living room watching NHL games. You just need to watch the games. That's all you need.
Follow the numbers.
Everything else is bunk. Like I said,
follow the numbers.
Sitting in Sutter's living room, Brian. I said, can you flip it over to Sports Center? He's like, I don't get TSN. I said, what are you talking about? He goes, all I have is NHL Center Ice. I just have the games. I don't need to watch the panels. I don't need to watch the analysis. See what I'm saying?
I absolutely do.
All that matters is the games. Or in your case, what? The stock market? I don't know. That's not my thing.
Follow the numbers. I'm a tax guy, right? And a numbers guy. If you follow the numbers, you'll know where the taxes are. You'll know where your averages are. You'll know when companies can go out of business. Like if Air Canada, I don't know what the numbers are, but Air Abou, it's a $50 stock. If I went out of business and liquidated everything, I'd have to pay you $30 a share, just because that's what my planes cost, and then we're liquidating. Me as an owner of Air Abou, I would buy everything at $20. If you want to sell to me at $20, because it's not possible for me to. The worst you'll get is $30. The people are throwing in orders. They just want to sell. They're selling at whatever. And me, the owner, saying, you're an idiot for selling anything less than 30. And I'm putting my buy-in orders at 10. The stock's a $50 stock, and you're selling it to me at 10 because you're scared. That's what it comes down to. I'm really simplified it out a million times, and don't take my advice over what we say here. Give me a call at the office, 757-3511.
Make your own decisions. Randy's watching in Cochrane, Alberta. He says Fox is pro-Trump, CNN is anti-Trump. Oh my God, politics. But here's my thing, Randy. I watch them all. My favorite, we were just in Mexico, end of February. My wife's doing her hair. One of the 3 channels that they had was Fox News. So she comes out like after an hour of listening to the Fox News commentary. I'll never forget, she's got a towel around her and her thing. She's like, do they really believe what they're saying? And I'm like, I'm pretty sure they believe it, but doesn't mean they're right.
I don't.
And it's entertaining. That's what it is.
I don't mean to be
offensive.
It's
not the news.
Maybe I mean to be sexual, but I don't mean to be offensive. I want an ugly white dude or an ugly dude telling me my information. Dan Rather, Brokaw.
So do I.
A pretty girl can do it. I just don't trust them right now because of just what they said. And its reality is that they're getting people to watch. They want people to watch. Flip, 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 flip. Ooh, Abu and Rod. Flip. Ooh, pretty girl.
Of course.
That's how guys think. I'm sorry. If you don't think that beer commercials have been right since the inceptions of beer, like that's gets people watching. And then the news isn't to tell you the news anymore. It's to keep you to watch so they can sell airtime and stuff like that.
So back to me. So as the guy John Maxwell, the leader, said, in this time, if you're looking for the information, don't go to the media because they have an agenda. Sorry to say, and I have a tough time saying that. Not only because I've been in the media for 31 years, but also because a lot of them are my friends, and they've been very good to me. Well, yeah. But doesn't mean that I can't acknowledge that a lot of them have it. I had an agenda as voice of the riders. I swear, I did. I'm sorry. Cat's out of the bag.
But you put you put your spin on it. You've always said you're a homer.
Yeah.
You don't put your information out there. You always put it with a rider spin or a Saskatchewan spin, and everybody knows it. And you say it, but you don't. News are saying here. They don't say this is our opinion. Dan Rather used to cut it down the middle. He didn't put a one way or another on it. So now people, my point is, people have forgotten how to think.
Yeah.
People didn't have my dad as their dad, telling them that they're dumb all the time. What are you not thinking? What are you, stupid? What's wrong with you? And everyone who's of any Lebanese descent knows what this means. Like, what's wrong with you?
Well, look.
What's wrong with you?
I'm sorry. Can I add on that? Maybe we should both have the camera on us, because as you say that, people don't want to think. That's a harsh way of saying it, but in a couple of the most recent crises that we've been involved in, both the Humboldt crash and this, I've had people ringing me up and saying, Rod, what do I do? And my initial thought when this all started was, how the hell would I know? Right? When I first started it. But when I realized when people are coming to me asking for this, I better figure out the answer for them because they're expecting it from me. But a lot of people say, what do I do?
See, maybe,
at least they asked. That's not a criticism.
Maybe I just think too much. Well, if it's an airborne virus, you want to segregate yourself. You want to wash your hands a lot. Like we have seminar or we have a webinar every day telling us what to do. And we're supposed to be professionals with a certain level of mental capacity, and they're telling us to wash our hands. And I'm just like, do people really not know that they?
But they don't, Abu. You know that.
Do people really not know they should be drinking beer off people's asses? Like, people need to know these things. And we're talking about a video online that's getting hits. Like, people, you should know these things. It's just regular life to keep yourself safe. Don't go licking poles and stuff like that.
Well, I'll tell you, we're kind of flipping back and forth between the entertainment and the news side or whatever. But listen, my wife's a big shopper. And a lot of times I'll go to a mall and just sit there and drink coffee all day and read my phone while she's out shopping. It's great. We're both happy. But when you drink enough coffee, you know what happens?
Yeah.
You have to go to the bathroom. So I'll go to the bathroom and I'll be in there still surfing my phone. The amount of people that come through there and aren't washing their hands, spend some time in an airport bathroom sometime.
Well,
You'll be aghast.
That's why we're washing our hands when we get home, because those dumbasses, right? And, survival of the fittest. We're a lot lenient here on overpopulation on that kind
I know,
of
but
stuff.
there's going to be a lot of unfit people
having kids, I know, and that's a problem.
Or meet their demise because they're being stupid.
But that's never been a problem in history. Those people.
It's called natural selection.
It's called natural selection. And how dare I talk to that about you? Yeah, that's you then. If you think that's a problem, then maybe that's you. There's
a good clip. Rack 'em.
If you need a sign on a cliff that tells you stay away from the cliff because if you fall off you're gonna die, I'm talking to you.
Jack in Calgary.
keep touching hot
Jack
flames,
in
that's
Calgary's watching. He says, Abou, I love listening to how you see life. Outstanding, in all caps. You understand it took me 2 years to figure this guy out? Most people don't like him at first. Now I get him. And I still think he's nuts.
No,
I just know he's entertaining
Once
now.
you get to know me, that's when the problems.
Once you get to know him, you really don't like him.
Yeah.
By the way, next hour, Theron Fleury, Michael Landsberg, and Andrew Gottslig. We do have to break. I went through all this trouble of writing down these show topics, and we haven't got to any of them.
You want to get
Can
back
we?
to my shirt that's too big?
I
for my
don't
thing?
want to go to that at all. And from Steven watching in North Dakota, he says you need to also sanitize your mobile device.
Man, you got poop on your hands because everyone's watching. I know what you're doing on social media when you're watching it too. And when my buddy texts me at 8 o'clock in the morning, I know what he's doing. I know what you're doing, Rod. I know what you're doing.
Right.
And then you got poop
I
all over
sanitize it
your phone.
regularly.
I know, but these people, man. Whew. Not you. Listener, love you. Other people.
All these people writing in with Abou. And actually, people are they're listening as well at rodpeterson.com/listen live. I appreciate you people doing that. Jason in Red Deer writes in. He says, hey, guys, listening live on the website and using the text line because the internet sucks out here during the coronial times. I love listening to Abou. He really needs his own daily show.
Yeah, that's the smartest thing I've heard all day.
Let's just get through the coronavirus panic before we start infecting the world further.
Brett, stupid people are why they have warning labels. That's why I say get rid of all warning labels. If you think cigarettes are good for you, go for it.
We'll be back. Hour 2 coming up. It is the Rod Peterson Show Facebook Live, coming to Game Plus TV this spring, and listen live at rodpeterson.com.
You're watching Rod Peterson On Demand. For more of The Rod Peterson Show, visit rodpeterson.com or follow Rod Peterson on social media.